Alright, round 2 at Spain. Alright, small issues. So, let's make prediction on who's first to go out on track. We've got 17 minutes left, which gives people about 3 laps, I'd say. Unless you want to go run multiple laps on a set of tires, which normally isn't recommended. But we could possibly go and run only 2 laps and save a set of soft tires for possibly a 2-stopper. But the preferred strategy I'd say around here is a 1-stopper, possibly starting on the hard compound of tire if you're outside the top 11. Obviously the top 10 have to go per the rule book. They have to start on a set of soft tires, which is normally what they're going to qualify on. But they could possibly go medium tires and still somehow do the 1-stopper. I guess we have our first taker out on track. It's going to be the Ferrari of Rob. He's going to be first out on track, and it's going to be the first person set of banger. He's on a set of medium tires, so it looks like he's interested in possibly doing a 1-stopper today. I'd say that that's probably the class of the entire field, but we have the AlphaTauri on soft compound tires, which is very interesting. He might do a 2-stop, who knows, because you could possibly go and do a 2-stopper. Maybe you could do a 1-stopper soft to hard, but that might be a little bit slower by stretching it, because when the medium tire runners pit, they will have fresher soft tire or fresher hard tires than the hard tires that you threw on the race car. So we'll just have to figure out how it goes, and we'll see how strategies end up going. Looks like a lot of soft tire runners. Maybe medium tires aren't really a qualifying tire, but who knows? I don't think they're that much slower around here. There's a lot of high-speed corners. Turn 3, I think, is going to be the corner that most people struggle in when you're on a harder compound of tire. But let's get ready and see who could possibly score a pole position. So, the person, I personally have no clue who's even that quick. I know the medium tire guy is going to be down towards the bottom, but that's just normal, because everyone seems to be going on soft tires. Some cars haven't even left the pit lane yet. But Rob's going to be our little banker time here on his medium tires in the Ferrari. Probably going to get beat almost immediately. So likely he's going to go out and run another couple of laps. Maybe this is just to get a feel for the track, see how the medium tires run, so he's ready for the race. We've got a couple of cars in the way, one car way off track, trying to let him go. It's going to get his tires nice and dirty, so he's going to be ready and start his lap with maybe grass on his tires, possibly. Let's see what the lap time is. L. Trocker is our first car across the line. He runs a 15.9, and Rob is about a second slower on his medium tires. So he's definitely going to be back out on track. Everyone's going to definitely be back out on track in like the last 2 minutes or so. We got more cars coming across the line here shortly. We got the McLaren of Ross going to come across the line here. We got a new fastest lap. Where does McLaren go? Only 4th place on a set of soft tires. He must have messed up somewhere. They must have been stuck doing something. Letting cars pass, possibly. Spinning out, maybe. Or possibly a second out lap. Who knows what they did, but they ran really slow laps. We're gonna have constant yellow flags everywhere with cars trying to get heat in their tires. Got a new pole sitter, new fastest lap in the Red Bull is gonna be Salt, and we have someone already out of the Grand Prix or qualifying session. Most likely crashed somewhere. We have no clue where he crashed at. Most likely at turn 9, he got too much exit curb and touched the gravel trap on the way out. And not even getting a banker lap in either is gonna be difficult. So, without getting that banker lap, not running a lap, he gets free choice of tire, so probably gonna start on the hard tires, maybe the mediums, depending on what he feels comfortable starting the Grand Prix on. I'd say start on the hard tires, get the slower tire out of the way while you're still in traffic. Because in traffic, you're not making up any time. You could possibly, when everyone pits, you could possibly make up a little bit more time there. But now let's see what the McLaren can run, because I think he's on his current lap. Let's see what King's can run. So across the line, King is going to put himself P12. So Rob's still up there on his set of medium tires. He could be a contender for pole position, just based on people can't beat his medium tire lap. Well, now he's outside the top 10, so we gotta go run another lap if he feels like starting any higher. Because I'd say if I qualify P11, I can definitely improve that medium tire lap if I was him. Because medium tires around here are about, I'd say, 6.5 tenths slower per lap than the soft tires, and the hard tires are about, I'd say, 1.2 seconds a lap slower per lap. You also got to be careful of this pit entry right there. You can see the little stairs, whatever, right there that leads onto the pit wall, kind of comes out and bite you. I've seen cars crash there before. The pit entries, you can gain a lot of time there, but also you don't want to have any issues there. Already ran 2 laps for Bank, so he's out there getting some feel for the track. These tires definitely won't be the ones he would like to start the Grand Prix on, so he better not crash on his next lap. Because if he starts on these tires, he's going to have a huge disadvantage on his tire differential than everybody else. We got yellow flags in every sector now, so we got cars all over the place because we got yellow flags everywhere. We got more cars on out laps getting ready to go run their lap. Salt on an out lap, we got Gel on an out lap, we got Trucker on an out lap. Everyone's on an out lap here, gonna do most likely the 3-lapper in qualifying. With short qualifying, you get 3 soft tires. That gives you enough for 3 laps. I prefer the first one to be a nice banker to get a feel for the grip, and then the next 2 should be absolute flyers. This middle lap here, lap 2, if you're going to do your 3 lap, you really got to test the track limits on, just to make sure you know where the track limits are at, because an invalidation on this lap doesn't matter. You got to banker down, and you just don't want to crash. We got another crash. Papa is out of the session, most likely crashing somewhere in Sector 1, because there's yellow flags down in there. So we got 2 cars already out of the session. So right now we're looking at a decent grid here. Banks got to get out there and run another lap at some point. We got more yellow flags in Sector 3. Probably not a crash, just cars letting each other go and stuff. So P5 is on medium tires, which is very interesting. He was able to run his lap on medium tires and sit P5, so he's a good contender for pole position. if he went to a set of soft tires. But if you're inside the top 5 and you're on medium tires still, I feel he can sit this one. But by looking at the gaps, he's now down to P6. He doesn't have that massive gap to really anywhere else that would give him the advantage. Because if you're like P8, P9, there's really no advantage of starting on the medium tire, because you're still going to be back in traffic, and your tires aren't going to last that very much, because tires last much longer if you're in the clean air, which would be the race lead, or preferably ahead of a massive train of cars. But he doesn't have the gap, I don't think, to be able to sit this one out. 750 left in qualifying, and I believe the top 5 right now will have a decent chance at pole position. Salt goes back to the top of the charts, a 1:15.497 for Salt. Trocker's gonna come back into the pits here, and he's gonna get ready for a lap. Joe, I believe, is on a lap right now, but there's a Ferrari right in the way, or a McLaren in the way. So he's going to be running a slow lap here. He might not even improve. Yep, he's going to dart into the pit lane there because he lost a lot of time behind the McLaren. I don't know what McLaren that was, but I think it was Jags. Yep, it was Kings that got in his way starting his lap. Now, there's an interesting rule that I saw for these qualifying sessions, and it's the fact that you may only slipstream your teammates, which is a very interesting rule. That's why cars have such a massive gap to each other, because you're actually not allowed to slipstream each other unless you're a teammate. Now, slipstream is debatable on how far back that goes. I don't think there's ever a proven coding thing that says how far slipstream goes, because I don't think anyone's ever tested how much advantage you get from the slipstream depending on how far back you are. We all know in real-life Formula 1, they sit about 5 seconds, 6 seconds back from each other, and they still get benefits from the tow. So, the tow, I have no clue if anyone's ever gone into the coding and checked to see how far tow actually gives you an advantage. There's no little meter, like in NASCAR Heats 5, that says if you whether you have the draft or not, but we have no clue, so I say that 5 seconds is a decent gap. Kings goes up to P10 here, and we only have one car on the medium tire still. It's going to be the Aston Martin on an outlap now, on another set of medium tires, or a current set of medium tires. I have no clue what tire set he's on. I believe you only get one set of medium tires, because the allocation for 2021 is locked due to COVID-19 restrictions. So the allocations are all locked, so everyone has one set of medium tires for qualifying. You can't have that harder, softer, or balanced sets. But I guess he's going to be out there running another lap. Got 5 minutes left in the session, around about that. So we'll just see how the Aston Martin can do on another set of medium tires. Maybe if he improves that lap to, I'd say, maybe a 15.6, he might be content with sitting out the end of the qualifying session run here. But I just don't see him sitting out on the medium tires if he's going to be here towards the back, like P7, P8, P9. That's not really worth it. If you're like P5, P6, you might be able to make a move in the turn 1. Maybe if they crashed, like the leaders crashed into each other, as we've seen in 2016, and he almost put it into the barrier there. He almost wrecked into the barrier. Rear end likes to switch around on you see that corner, so you got to be really careful on that. Here, you can really get bit with the track limits if you get too far out there. Gravel trap as well right there can spin you right into the wall. Wall's really close. If you spin, there's really no saving it unless you spin the other direction. But if you spin the other direction, you also will end up hitting the wall. That corner back there that you just went through could also be kind of tricky on the apex there, and the corner right before it as well. That little chicane could also be here. And here it's really easy to cut. Spin like he just did there. Commentator's curse. He just did a track reset there after spinning to get back into the pits, and the medium tires are definitely toasted after that one. He's definitely got to go out there on another set of tires, because I don't see him being content with sitting P10, considering the track evolution is gonna hit really heavy around here, considering it's a lot of medium speed, high speed, low speed. It's kind of a mix of everything now. Everyone's getting set to go out on track. We got a bunch of cars out on track right now. Salt, I believe, is going to be our first car to be starting his lap. Or no, he's currently on a lap, actually. He wanted to avoid all the traffic. So I don't actually know who is going to be our first one across the line. I believe Rob could be our first one across the line. There's plenty of time where you can still sit in the garage, like some people are currently doing. There's time. I say about 2:30 is the time that everyone should be getting ready to leave. They can do small adjustments to the car if they feel fit to need to do small adjustments. Like you can adjust your front wing. Tire pressures you can now adjust, which is nice. So if you need a little more traction, you could lower the rear tire pressures, because the higher tire pressures give you more straight line speed, but less traction, because there's less surface area and contact with the surface area. That might be a track limits time penalty right there, or in lap invalidation right there through turn 1. He got really tight in the turn 1 there. Maybe beyond borderline for the FIA, but we'll see if his lap counts. We got more yellow flags going on. Salt is now on his lap. I believe he's just starting his lap. So everyone's going to come through, start their lap. And it seems like cars are rolling out of the pit lane now with 2 minutes left. It's 1 minute 15, so 2 minutes, kind of borderline to get temp medium tires. I still say 2:30, got a Haas in the way here, but he's going to get nicely out of the way for Salt on his fastest qualifying lap in his quest to get pole position. Trucker has a chance to get pole position. I say the entire top 10 has a chance, because obviously the Aston Martin there of J is on medium tires. He still has a chance to possibly score pole position, because obviously those medium tires are like 6, 7 tenths slower. Right here you gotta watch the rear end. It could really bite around on you and send you right into the wall right there. But thankfully it did not do that to Salt. Let's see what Rob can set his lap as he comes through the final corner now. Pit lane right there. You gotta make sure you don't get too close to it, because if you get too close you can get grass on new tires and lose a lot of grip. What lap is it going to be? Is it going to be an improvement? No, it's not an improvement. Got another car out of the session. Salt has given up on his lap. So those two are effectively out of contention for pole position, depending on what Trucker can do here. Trucker, I believe, has the pace to maybe improve his lap by the 2-3 tenths he needs to get pole position here. We got more yellow flags in Sector 3, I believe that was. Sector 1, we got yellow flags and cars on their out lap. We got a 5-place grid penalty for Heidi with a collision with somebody. I have no clue what happened there. I don't even know where he's at on track. Most likely back in Sector 1. He's on an out lap right now. But I have no clue who he hit or where that car that he hit is at. But he got a 5-place grid penalty. But that one, that might go down for Stewart's review. I have no clue what's going to happen there. But let's see what lap Trucker can run as he comes up to the finish line now. It's going to be pole position for the time being. We still got cars across the line, but he's on pole position. 15-2. Salt has retired from the session after boxing. Rob is on pole position now by 2 tenths. Let's see if anyone else can beat him. Can the Williams, anyone beat him? I-5, TT Storm. Can anyone contest? We got the AlphaTauri. He's going to cut the corner there, so that means his lap's done. The AlphaTauri is going to come into the pits as well. Can TTG Storm possibly get pole position here? He comes through the final chicane, and he's in a box. He's not going to finish his lap. He's decided not to finish his lap. The Aston Martin is going to start on the medium tires, but going to get a new set of medium tires possibly to start his lap with. We got one car off in the gravel trap, and the car that had a collision with Heidi is spinning in the pit entry right now. So it looks like Rob is going to start on pole position here, because it does not seem like anyone is going to contest unless Trucker was able to get 2 tenths on his lap. Let's see if Trucker can score the pole position. No, he can't improve. He does improve, but not enough. Rob is going to be our pole sitter for the Spanish Grand Prix, which it's reportedly going to have a wet weather interference for. So maybe the soft tires could be the way to go here. We're still waiting on someone to retire from the session or something. I have honestly no clue. Alright, there we go. So, with qualifying complete, got Heidi dropping back 5 spots here. So that's going to put him back in P19, which is going to be last place. So, very disappointing on him. We have no clue what happened there. Something could happen. But we got a lot of British people in here. We got one American. Nico's an American, a fellow American here. Some flags, I think, might be glitched, because some have another flag. And I definitely know I don't have another flag for my character. So, Rob's on pole position. Trocker completes the front row. We got a Williams up in P4. Now, we know this is even cars, but that's really impressive to be a Williams, be up there, because even on even cars, it still feels like the Williams could be possibly slower. It just kind of feels slow, even on even cars. Because some cars just feel slow, I guess, in this game. But that's interesting that he got 4th in a Williams. It's on even cars, but still feels kind of slow. So, Rob continues on pole position. Yeah, it is going to be raining. I guess we get to look at the race strategy. It's going to be massive rain throughout the entire race. I'll figure out how to get out of the way, I guess, because I joined the lobby right as we started and didn't have time to look through my buttons or anything. So I guess it's going to be a full wet race, which is going to be interesting. There's going to be no DRS, which is going to be interesting as well, considering this race is very bad at overtaking. Reportedly, passing is not very fond around here. Spain doesn't like passing. We could probably fix that with a couple of track modifications here and there, but as of right now, there is no way that it could really be fixed. So, I guess I gotta get out of the way here.
Okay, go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start.
Alright, Jeff, we don't care.
We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool.
I'm not
so
entirely sure if I'm able
revs.
to retire on the formation lap. No, I can't. I'll just I'll get up nice and close so that they don't have cold tires, but I won't do very much on the formation lap here. I'll just retire off the start immediately. I'll be starting ahead of them, I guess, but I'll be behind them as well. But I'll have to start ahead of those two. But I'll get off, I'll probably end up jumping the start as well, just to make sure I get out of their way, because I don't think there's an issue with me jumping the start to get out of the way immediately. Someone's been disqualified already. So there seems to have been a little bit of argy-bargy on the formation lap here. I'll just be a decent distance behind here. I'm not going to interfere on the formation lap here, as I am a commentator, not a driver. Just a little late getting into the broadcasting accounts to get ready for the live stream. I started the live stream immediately, as soon as getting into the lobby. As soon as I came out of the broadcasting menu, I had like 5 seconds left, and didn't really have time to overview my buttons. I have never spectated before, so this is going to be interesting.
Doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon.
So it's going to be full wet conditions, traction's going to be nowhere, and it's going to be the entire race, so that's going to be very interesting for everybody. Got someone who looks to have spun here on the formation lap. Someone looks to have spun. Probably a Mercedes. I can't really see who it is. I'm too far back to see, but it looks to be a Mercedes. Yeah, it is a Mercedes. If somebody, I have no clue who spun, but someone did end up spinning. And host of the lobby is actually going to be P19 for the P18 technically for the start, so we're down 2 cars for the race. So we have only 18 cars in the race. But the Alpine, starting from last place after getting 5-place grid penalty, would be last anyway if I wasn't here. So I'm not really interfering with really anybody, because everyone crashed, really, so we will get out of the way here and then retire from the session after they all get down to turn 1. So we're actually going to miss, most likely, turn 1, down to the fact that I'm going to have to retire after they're well past me. So I'm just going to have to get out of the way here. Nico is, I guess, connecting to us. He's having internet issues, it looks to be, as we're waiting on him still to start the actual race. Oh, there he goes. He's out of here.
You have a drive-through penalty. You have been given a drive-through penalty.
So I'm out of the way. I don't have an issue here, so... Oh, there looks to be a crash. Someone has spun up here. And it's going to be a 5 seconds time penalty. And we have a virtual safety car deployed.
Due to a build-up of stopped cars on the track. Watch your pace.
I'm going to let them get back straight, and then I'll figure out here. I'll just be able to retire here because there's a virtual safety car after they had a little collision. That's most likely going to be sent to the stewards. We have no clue what happened there. Possibly too much wheel spin. So we have no clue what happened to them. Well, we have 2 penalties being handed out. Front wing damage to both cars. A 10-second time penalty actually to Ross. So Ross has had multiple crashes with somebody. He's had contact with 2 cars, effectively. Yeah, there's been a warning for Banks with a collision with Trocker. And we've had multiple collisions. Someone had a collision and gained 1 place. Ross did, so that's his other penalty. He had a severe collision and then had another collision with somebody and gained a place because of it. So that's interesting. Someone's speeding under the virtual safety car. He's trying to get caught back up. It's a virtual safety car, not a full course. And it must have got confused or something. Car way off track there. The Aston Martin. They both got major wing damage. Ross got 10 seconds, so his race is effectively over. We got more wing damage for the race leader, I believe that is. No, it's not. That was the Aston Martin we were looking at there. So Rob has set off with no DRS, no issue, and Ross is out of the Grand Prix. Ross had a collision. There's been a major accident on the front straightaway, including Ross and I-5. Another virtual safety car has been deployed. This one might actually go to a full course safety car, because we have a car stopped on the racetrack with a missing front tire. So we've had another crash. Ross has been involved in 3 incidents on the opening lap, effectively. And the AlphaTauri is going to have wing damage. That's going to kind of put the Alfa Romeo and the Aston Martin back into this race, because they're not going to lose as much time under the virtual safety car. But we have a virtual safety car again with another crash. It's going to give Rob enough time to recharge his battery, and effectively they're not racing, so he gets laps taken off. So effectively we're only doing we're doing 32 laps effectively, because we've just had a virtual safety car for the first half of the lap, and then it went away, and then we had another virtual safety car for the first half of the lap. So effectively, we only have a 32 lap race here, because the time that we spend on the virtual safety car kind of leads up into the race distance. So if you underfueled your car, today was the perfect day to do it, because you just gained probably a whole 2/10 of fuel under those 2 virtual safety cars. But Rob sets off in the race lead now. So he's going to come across the line. Joe runs the fastest lap, but it's going to go the entire way down the field most likely, because I know it's just going to sit at Joe. So Joe has the fastest lap currently. But that's definitely going to get reset and probably going to go to somebody else, because he's in Dirty Air currently. And Dirty Air, we know, is terrific in this game. And he's going to lose a lot of time in the Dirty Air of the Red Bull and the Ferrari. So he's getting a double, effectively, he's getting a double whammy here with the Dirty Air, because he's getting Dirty Air from the Ferrari as well, because Dirty Air kind of stacks on top of each other. So, the more cars in front of you, the actual slower you're going to go. It's the complete opposite in some sports, where the more cars in a train, the faster you go. But around here and in F1, more cars on the train, effectively, the slower you go, depending on what track it is. Around here, it's definitely slower. And you got to watch for your tail wig there going through that section, because it could really just flip around on you and you could end your race just like that in the wall. 2 seconds you're going straight, next second you've lost the traction and you're in the wall. So they got to be very careful and in tricky conditions. Rob likely has been given a track limits warning already, because we saw him a little off track there, but we have a 3-car breakaway at the front of the field. He's out of 1 second. DRS won't matter because it's wet conditions, full wet conditions. It's heavy, heavy, heavy rain currently. So it seems everyone has served their penalties. Everyone served their drive-thrus. We got a yellow flag in Sector 2. We look to have a Ferrari spun around. Yep, Ferrari spun around. He's in the wall. Slight contact with the wall. He spun around in that exact area. I told you gotta watch your rear end there, and because it likes to flip around on you, and we just saw it there. The Alfa Romeo just spun it. He's had a horror of a start here. He had a crash, and then he had a drive-through for speeding on the virtual safety car, and he's likely has minor wing damage on his end plate, and there's a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Probably ran wide and got damaged. Got a 10-second time penalty for that one. So back in the pit lane for the Aston Martin, and a lockup into the pit lane as well, and he's out of the race. He's decided to just give up. He's done with it. They said, pack up, go home. So he's out of the race now. He's decided to pull into his box and retire. So now we enter onto lap 5 now. And that was a horror start for those select few drivers. P14 is 32 seconds off of P13, so they're all over the place back there. From 14th on down, really, their race is kind of over, unless we get a full course safety car, which is still a possibility. I've seen cars at turn 9 before spin spontaneously. Like, if one car if the leader is to spin there, everyone's going to get involved in it, because really it's kind of hard to avoid a spinning car at turn 9, considering you're basically full throttle through there. A small little brake and lift here in the rain, but you're effectively, possibly full throttle in the dry conditions, depending on how your setup is shaped up. Places around here to crash. It's not going to be an easy win for Rob if he is able to hold it. Also, we got to stay mindful of the undercut, which could still happen in these wet tires. Wet tires go about 5 laps, and then you could probably pit and gain time. So if we get a full course safety car, I can guarantee we're going to see a lot of cars in the pit lane. Even under a virtual safety car, we might see a couple of cars dive into the pit lane to get some fresh tires, because you can make up a lot of time on fresh, wet tires, intermediates or dries. But it seems like he is pulling away and putting up a gap on Salt and Joe. So effectively, Rob's going to win unless something catastrophic happens, or he makes a couple of mistakes, or possibly gets a time penalty. That's still an option as well. But the Red Bull's going to have to be using everything. He's going to have to get really, really, really close to Rob if he wants to make a move into a corner, possibly. Because overtaking isn't that easy around here, especially without DRS. He's gonna have to hope Rob makes a mistake out of turn 9 and pass him up into the hairpin, because it's effectively a hairpin up there. A nice little braking zone, make a pass. Turn 1, you could possibly make a pass. We got I-5 with a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting somewhere. So he's already used up his tokens. And there's another crash. The McLaren is out of the Grand Prix. Whereas he crashed at, he's crashed somewhere around here. And we have a full course safety car. A full course safety car. We have no clue where Kings has crashed at, but he is out of the Grand Prix now. He crashed somewhere. Probably spun on the turn 2. I've done that too. Spun at turn 2, because it's really easy to spin on either the exit or the entry. But the question is who enters the pit lane here? Because a pit stop around here, you can gain a lot of time by making a pit stop, especially with amount. And Rob has received a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. He must have made a mistake somewhere. He was off track there at the hairpin, and that is effectively going to ruin his race, because if he decides to pit here and put on a new set of wet tires, he might lose a lot of time. He's going to lose a lot of time because he has to sit in this box for an extra 5 seconds on his first pit stop. And he is going to dive into the pit lane. Looks like he's going to dive in. The Red Bull stays out. Joe's going to stay out. What does TTG do? He could gain a lot of time by pitting, but he's not going to. You're going to put yourself back in traffic. So Rob's going to pit. He did something. Is he making a front wing change? I don't know. Let's see what they're doing. Nope. They're not doing a front wing change. He just made a mistake and serving a 5-second time penalty. But he's going to have some nice pace there because he can make up like 3-4 tenths a lap on a new set of wet tires now. Because wet tires have a huge degradation to it, and a 3-second time penalty under safety car is very interesting. Pushing the track limits under safety car, I can see. So he's gonna be kicking himself after that one. Under safety car of all things. So now the Red Bull leads, and it seems like no one really pitted there for a new set of tires. Only Rob pitted, and he only came out P8, so he's gonna have some mega pace here on his new set of wet tires. You can make up a lot of time on those. So let's just see how much pace he can make up. But obviously Spain, different type of track. You don't really want to be in traffic around here, but I think Rob has the pace. He's sat on pole. He has the pace to possibly get up there and still win the race, because he can go effectively a few laps longer, and we have another car out of the race. I-5 has crashed his car or pulled into the pit lane and retired. Let's see if we can get a glimpse of something around here. He crashed somewhere up here, most likely. Oh yeah, right there. He crashed on the exit of the corner. He must have got on the curb and spun it. So now we have 14 drivers in the Grand Prix. 14 drivers remaining with multiple 3-second time penalties handed out. 2 of them of which have been handed out under safety car, which is kind of mind-blowing for me that you got a time penalty under virtual safety car. Yeah, strict corner cutting, but I don't really see a need to push the car. Even crashing under safety car is kind of embarrassing, I would say. But some people just seem to do it. I can understand how you do it in the wet conditions, but dry conditions, there's no excuse. Wet conditions, alright, yeah, I'll give you a free pass on that one, because that's kind of fair. Maybe he got on the power and misjudged it, because I highly doubt anyone does any practicing in the rain. No one is prepared for a wet weather race around here in Spain. Every tier is different. So this might be the only wet race of the weekend. We have no clue. I have no clue what the other tiers have their weather conditions as, but this tier is going to be wet, and he's passing the safety car. Oh dear, that's a big mistake there. He almost crashed into the safety car. That was interesting. Didn't time the pace of the safety car that well. He even locked the front tires there. I feel like he's going to crash into the safety car here. I'd back off of that safety car. Safety cars go really slow, it feels like, but you don't want to be crashing that safety car, because that's an instant disqualification. And that would put him P19, even behind me, and I'm not even in the race, and I think he did hit the safety car there. He might have hit it, might have got really close. I know this game has a huge hitbox on the safety car. Even if you don't touch it, you still get disqualified for it. So you got to be very, very, very careful there, Salt. You have a chance to win the race by pulling away, because Rob is back in traffic. You only lost pole by like a tenth, but you're getting really dangerously close to that safety car. Oh, I think he did hit it that time. He had to have hit it that time. He's getting like really close to the safety car, and it's getting really dangerous. He's passing the safety car. Eventually, back at turn 4, I think it was, he passed the safety car. So this is a very interesting on him driving his race car. He's getting like dangerously close to the safety car. He's gonna get close again there. He's getting like really close. I think he was pulling into the pit lane. No, he's not. He's almost crashing into the safety car numerous times. He almost swerved into the pit lane there, trying to put temp in his tires. He almost crossed over the bollard there. The bollard's already missing, so I don't even think people know where the bollard's supposed to be, because I don't think the bollard's actually on the edge of the thing. The bollard's more pushed back a little bit. But I'd say that a 6/10 gap to the safety car is a decent gap. to keep to the safety car. He's leading the train, he's leading the race, he has clean air, everything. As long as he doesn't crash, he could win the race. But if he keeps getting that close to the safety car, he's going to get real dangerous. Up here, he passed the safety car when the safety car slowed down. The safety car starts to slow down about at the Pirelli sign, but the safety car has very little downforce. The rear wing is like the only type of downforce the safety car can get there. The safety car could actually go really quick around here and some other tracks, just very much slower. The safety car, I believe, is about as fast as what a GT3 car would be around here. Because if you've ever driven the Mercedes GT3 car, it's kind of similar to the safety car, I would assume. Because that kind of does look like a GT3 car that we saw at the 24 Hours of Spa the other week, a few weeks ago. Mercedes ran a GT4 and GT3 car around Spa for the 24 Hours race up there in Spa. Safety car's in this lap, and now Salt can take a sigh of relief. Safety car can come in, he can start racing again. He's really eager to get racing again. He's going to have to give a little more space to the safety car there. Remember, he can't pass the safety car until safety car line A, which you can see on the racetrack near where the pit lane entry is. The pit lane entry starts at safety car line A. Now he's back in the field up. Hopefully no one crashes into each other, because that seems to happen. You might be able to see the safety car line here. Right here where the pit lane entry starts is going to be right here across the track. That's where he can begin the race. It's about right here, I would say. Yep, right there, you just saw it. The safety car line A, and he accelerated as soon as he got there. So now we are back racing. Overtaking is now permitted, and we have a car out of the race already. We have a crash. Right there at the pit entry. Oh no, he crashed into the pit wall. So now it's only going to leave 13 runners in the Grand Prix. So he crashed right into the pit wall. And Salt is being pressured here. Gonna do the over and under. The Hash driver is attempting to pass him. Does he make a dive bomb? No, he doesn't. Joe thinks twice about it. He tried to do the over and under, couldn't get the traction. And he had a chance to maybe make a pass there, but didn't. But now there's TTG attempt to make a pass here, because he could also make a pass down the back straight here out of turn 9 if he's able to stay close enough. He almost hit the back of Joe there. Rob's up to P7 already, so he's making decent progress. I'd say 1 car a lap is decent enough to possibly get a decent position here. I'd say a top 3 is really good. It's only round 2. I believe there's 16 rounds of the championship, so there's a chance that other drivers have some good bad luck. We got Rob up another spot now on this new set of wet tires. He's like 4/10 a lap quicker, and he's only going to get faster as the race goes on, because his tires are going to just always be faster, and eventually they're going to hit a cliff point. He could possibly make it to the end of the session. We got yellow flags back in Sector 3. I believe we have a little bit of carbon fiber left behind. I have no clue what happened back there in Sector 3, but we got a race for effectively last place. The wooden spoon here. The Alpine, it's Nico, is attempting to maybe make a pass. He could possibly get close enough. No, he's not going to get close enough to make a pass there. But Salt is now pulled up to 1 second. Dirty Air goes about 1.7 back around here, depending on where you're at on the track. So once you get to like 1.7, that's kind of the limit on where Joe can get, and then he starts getting pushed backwards again. So as before, TTG is getting a double Dirty Air slipstream here, with Salt leading the train ahead of Joe, ahead of TTV, and then ahead of the Aston Martin. Then Rob's up to P5 already, so he's making some decent overtakes. He's P4 here, and the Aston Martin's been given another time penalty there on the exit of turn 9 there. He ran a little wide there, didn't get in the gravel, spin it, but if you get a little wide there and you don't spin, you're lucky enough not to spin, you do end up getting a time penalty out of it anyway. So really, you gotta keep 2 tires on the track at all times. That yellow sausage curb, these yellow sausage curbs right there, back there, and right here could really eat your car to bits and tear your floor to pieces. I've had that happen before, where you run over the curb, you lock up, you run wide, and you almost get your car eaten. You get a warning for it. It's kind of absurd. We got the pit exit there. Possibly could make an overtake, but not close enough to get an overtake done. If he's able to get close enough to the Aston Martin, you got to make a move, because he's on tires that are about 5/10 a lap faster than what the leaders have on their car. So possibly he could make a move, possibly go to the end of the Grand Prix as well. Might be a massive stretch considering how fast their new tires are. So a 3-stop is definitely not worth it around here. It's definitely going to be a 1-stop or a 2-stop. 3-stop's definitely not going to be the way to go. Most cars, I believe, are going to just do a 1-stop. Wet tires to wet tires. If it gets dry enough for intermediates, which I could see it doing, that could possibly happen as well. And we see more cars come to the pits and put on the intermediate tires, but right now it's still really wet. He could maybe make a move at some point down here on the front stretch. He might be able to get a move done, because I'd want to get the Aston Martin as quickly as possible, because you're losing a lot of time. He has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's on new tires. He could win this race real easy. That safety car kind of helped him in having a nice gap to everybody around him. So he's going to be close enough here to make a move down into turn 1. Yep, he's going to be definitely close enough. Going to use all his overtake. He's going to use everything to try to get past the Aston Martin here. As he comes down the front stretch, Aston Martin going to be using ERS and stuff as well. Here they come down. Does he try to make a dive bomb? Yes, he's going to go for it. Down the inside, but he just thinks twice about it. He's like, nope, that's going to break my front wing. So he decides to slot in P5s and have to wait another lap or so to get past the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin's going to put up a good fight here, because the Aston Martin's going to want this P4, even though he's on a little bit slower tires, delta-wise. They're on the same compound, but a groove in delta-wise. He's going to run wide here. There might be a pass done, and here he goes for it. Down the inside, and there might have been a little bit of contact there, but it looks all clean and dandy so far. They're going to still be side by side as we go down into the next corner. Got to watch out here, because your rear end can really lose it here, and Rob is ahead of the Aston Martin, and he's ready to go chase after the race leaders here, unless the Aston Martin can think of a comeback here. Got to use some ERS here to maybe get a move done here. He's not going to be close enough to get a move done. He's going to slot on the P5 here. And we got yellow flags down in Sector 2. We have a crash. Car off track, and he hits. He's in the middle of the racetrack. Oh, there's going to be a crash. Oh, no, there's not. Oh, he's ghosted. He almost got killed twice there. He would have had a massive collision, but ghosted, so that really helps everyone else out. But he got on the curb, most likely on the exit there, got on the gravel trap and spun, but he almost got plowed into twice there by the Alpha Tauri, I believe that was. He got plowed into by, and then I believe there was a Ferrari that hit him, or there was some sort of red car that hit him as well when he went back across the track. So there was almost a nasty collision there, but thankfully ghosting was on. We don't have to watch multiple cars get piled up into each other. So we continue on, lap 14 out of 33. You got many more laps to go. The race feels like it goes really slow around here, even when you're driving and you're next to somebody, even if you're P4 or even if you're leading. Laps go by really slow around here because there's not very much racing that goes on. A lot of just follow the leader and do whatever the leader does. Rob got a 3-second time penalty. That's going to put a dent in his race. He's going to have to get up, past, and ahead by 3 seconds to win this race now. He could possibly go to the end of the Grand Prix if we get a virtual safety car that helps him keep his tires cool and he doesn't overheat his tires. As long as he keeps his rears in check, fronts can kind of go. As long as you keep your rears in check, you're fine. Just got to keep them in the optimating window. As long as they're in the optimating window for the entire length of the Grand Prix, he could possibly take his tires to the end, because we had that long safety car. We went green really late into it. We've got a car pulling into the pit lane here. It's TTG. He's going to try and undercut here. Salt sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So that's going to release Rob back up in the P3. He has a chance to possibly push on this lap, because if he pushes hard enough, he could possibly get back up to Joe and Salt and continue for the lead. It's going to be a set of full wet compound tires for TTG, and he's out into the racetrack. He's going to be about P10, I would say, because right here's the pit exit line. He can disengage his pit limiter now. Blue lights flashing, and he's out on track, and he's going to come out possibly P10 here. Yep, he's going to be P10, and might be a crash. No, there's not. There was nearly a crash there. with Nico and TTG, but it seems like Nico has disconnected from the lobby. He seems to be ghosted. So he seems to be disconnected, so that's his race over. He's going to be classified in about last place, but most likely 13th because everyone else is retired. I'm not in here. So 18th is last place. Ross is last place. So we continue on with the Grand Prix. Lap 15 now out of 33. 6-second time penalty for the Aston Martin still. No one else has really got close to any time penalties. A few cars just spoke too soon. Car we're riding with got an exceeding track limits out of there at turn 9. As I said earlier in the broadcast, really easy to lose the car there. Really easy. We've seen multiple examples of where you're able to lose the car at. The Ferrari spun back there and got yellow flags in Sector 3 now. We seem to have had another collision somewhere. And it's the race just gets worse here. The race just gets worse for the Aston Martin. 6-second time penalty, wing damage. Now, you can't serve 6 seconds in the pit lane, so his race is effectively over here. He has to put on a new set of tires. He gets to go to the Grand Prix at least. Safety car could possibly bring him back into the race, but effectively his race is ruined. He's gonna pit really late there, and he's in the wall. He's in the wall, and that's race done for him. And that's gonna be a full course safety car. He really late into the pit lane there. I don't know what he was doing there, but he crashed into the pit wall, and that's gonna be a full course safety car, which is very interesting. I don't know how that's gonna go down in the race steward's office, but looks to be a really late call into the pit lane. Jay looks to be out of the session. He's already out of the race, so he's not needed. We now only have 12 runners in the Grand Prix, and almost a collision with the safety car there. He might have to let the safety car back through, because I don't think he's allowed to pass yet. I'm not sure if he was allowed to pass there. He would have probably should have waited to pass the safety car, because that's really dangerous there. I think he has to let the safety car pass. I'm not sure. Either that or he's keeping to a delta, but that was a really dangerous pass there on the safety car. He could have easily crashed into the safety car or crashed himself out there. Would have only left us with 11 runners, but now, and I'm out of the session. That's really fun. Well, let's see if we can get back into the session real quick. A lot of people have been out of the session, so I have no clue what's happened here for the session. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, while keeping this broadcast up, to end the broadcast and restart it. But let's see if I can get back into the session. Let's see if it's going to let me in the session, because I can reuse the same invites that I've been sent to get into the session. So let's see if we're able to get into the session. Nope. Looks like I'm not. So I'll be. You guys just hang out for a bit.